On February 23rd, 2004, I was standing in the sacristy at my home parish, St. Michael's in Hudson. I was alone, and I was getting ready to leave the sacristy to walk to the back of the church to begin my dad's funeral. My dad is in so many ways one of the most important people in my life. Growing up, he really was my hero in so many ways. He was a man of deep integrity, and he just showed unconditional love in so many ways to my mom and to his children. He's really the man I so want to be in so many ways. And as I was getting ready to leave the sacristy, I was beginning to lose it. And I remember in that moment just stopping, and I remember my prayer was, God, you got to help me keep it together. You got to help me get through this moment. And right then and there, I felt this deep conviction in my heart as I heard really just two words: I believe. And I knew in that moment exactly what God was telling me. I believe in Jesus. I believe in what he promised. I believe in what the death and resurrection of Christ gives to us, that great gift. I believe in eternal life. And that is what gave me strength in the moment. The problem was I had lost my focus on Jesus. And I focused simply on what I had lost. In many ways, it's kind of like what happened to Peter. As Jesus calls him out of the boat, and as he starts walking to Jesus, he starts focusing on the wind and the rain and the waves, the storm that's raging about him, and that becomes his focus. And what happens? He begins to drown. And in that moment, he calls out to Jesus, and Jesus lifts him up. And that's really what Jesus did for me in that moment. He lifted me up in my need. So many of us feel right now like we're overwhelmed. We're so focused on the storm, so focused on what it is that we've lost, what's absent from our life. We feel sort of like Peter, like we're drowning. But we need to learn from Peter in that moment. We simply need to call out to Jesus, and he will lift us up. We need to recognize where our focus needs to be, not on what we've lost, not on what is absent, not on the storm raging around us. We simply need to focus on the one who can lift us up, to focus on the one who can help us to walk on water, because the reality is we're going to feel that way for a while. And every time that we begin to drown, every time we begin to get overwhelmed, that's the moment simply to remember who's there with us, who's on the water with us. All we have to do is look to Jesus, and he will lift us up. That is what our faith teaches us, and that essentially is what Easter is about. Death is not what won on the cross. It lost. Eternal life won on the cross. The victory was not by those who killed Jesus. Jesus won the victory. And that is where our hope is. That is where our strength is. They tried to overcome and overwhelm Jesus, and it didn't work. In our time of greatest need, He is there. As you in this moment may feel overwhelmed, just know all you have to do is look to Jesus and cry out His name, and He will lift you up. God bless.